Now, before going to the other org and build the integration to invoke this agent using the agent API, let's just try it out in the Postman. So I have Postman installed in my system. You can just download it from Google. And once you have it installed, you can log in with your user. And to practice this agent API, Salesforce has actually added the entire collection into their Salesforce developer. So what you can do is, once you have your Postman open, in the search Postman, just search for Salesforce. So this is Salesforce developer, and if you open it here, you will see that all of the APIs are available here, like your normal data cloud API, your platform APIs, bulk API version 1, bulk API v2, REST APIs, all the APIs are available. And then recently they added the agent API, and this is the one that we are going to work with. So what you can do is just click on this agent API and then click on the fork. So it will create a local copy where you can make changes to it. So let me just click on that and it will fork it, and we are going to say that Salesforce developers fork, and let me click on fork collection. So now this is a local copy of this agent API here, and here we have different endpoints. So the first one is the start session. So this agent API is bit different than the normal APIs that you have worked with. In the normal REST APIs, you make a call out to get the token, and once you have the token, you just make a call out to get the response. But here, the first thing that we need to do is get the token. So you can use different ways. So our connected app says that using the client credential. So using the client credential, we'll first get the token. Using that token, we need to first start a session. Now, why that is needed is, if you remember, when we have this conversation with our conversation agent, that entire session needs to be, the agent is aware of the session. So whatever the conversation you had like 2 minutes back, it is still aware of that. So that's the session that it maintains. Now here also, when you invoke this agent from third-party application, let's say that it was a Node.js application and you wanted to build a very conversation-based agent on that page as well. So there also you want to maintain that entire session, right? Because again, you're building a conversation, a chat bot on that Node.js application. So you want your Agentforce agent to remember everything that has happened on that chat session. So for that, we need to first start a session. It will give us the session ID, and then we can either use the send message synchronous or send message streaming. So these are the two different ways we can send our message, and we'll just check that. But before going there, let's just click on this agent API here, and we need to first get the token, right? So for that, we need to set up these variables here. Here you see that it is already populated SF API host with https api.salesforce.com. So this is where we will, so this is what we need to hit to get the session as well as to send the message. But in the SF org domain, we need to give our org domain from where we are going to authorize. So here I can give my orgs URL. Make sure that you are giving that my.salesforce.com, not the lightning one, and then the client ID and client secret. So the client ID, client secret that we got from the connected app, I'm going to go and paste it here, and the client secret here, and then agent ID. So which agent do you want to invoke in the Postman collection is what we are saying, that in the Postman collection you are trying to say that this agent is what I want to invoke. So let's go back to our agent. So this is our agent, and here I have this agent ID. You can see it from here, or maybe if you go to your agent builder, and here in the Agentforce agent, here I have this headless agent, and here you see the copilot ID, so which is the same as this one. So this is the agent ID that I can copy from here, and here I can paste it in the agent ID. Right, and session ID is something that will generate and get stored here, so that should be fine. Now come to the authorization and click on get new access token. So okay, I need to save it, my bad. And let's go to authorization now, and now click on net get new access token. So it is going to use these variables that we have defined, and it will get the access token, and just click on use token. So what happened here is that we have defined all this client ID and all. So Postman has actually used that to get the access token, and that access token is now stored. So the first thing is, let's see the start session. Now you remember that this is the agent ID, so we have already mentioned that which agent it is going to invoke. So the first thing is start session, and here you see that all the variables are populated. SF API host is currently having this URL, https api.salesforce.com, and in the agent ID, this is the agent ID that we have stored in the variable. So we are saying that we are going to hit this, and it is going to use the access token. So here it is, the access token is here in the authorization. So let me just click on send, and what we will see is that it is going to start a new session. So this is the session ID that it is giving. It's giving me other information as well, and by default the first message that comes here. So this is as good as let's just go here in our agent builder. So this is a new session that we are starting right now, and this is the message that it gives, right? So we have the new session generated right now. In this session, whatever the messages that I'm going to type, it is going to remember all of that, and it is same here as well. This is the session ID that it has generated, and it would have saved it as well. Now the next thing is, we need to invoke this agent with any message that we want to send. We have two type of messages, and before showing that, when we invoke this session API to get the session ID, in the body we passed few information, which is really important here. So we are passing the GUI ID, which is basically a random ID that you need to pass, and this is the body that we will also prepare when we are going to invoke this from the Apex. There also we will hit this endpoint, and we are going to send the same body. We are going to pass the access token. So first we will get the access token, we will hit this endpoint with the access token, and this is the body that we need to send. And here this GUI ID is nothing but random ID that you need to pass. Endpoint would be your SF org domain. So again, same thing, the org domain that I stored in the variable. These are optional parameter. This is time zone, so I'm saying that which is the time zone, and the variable and feature support, I'm saying streaming. So which means that in this session I can either go with the synchronous approach or also streaming approach. So for both of that we have two different endpoints, and we will see that. And when in the streaming mode, how the data will come back, the chunk types will be text. So when it will generate the chunk, we will see that when we hit this streaming API, we will see that how it is generating the response in small chunks, and there the chunk type is text. So this is really important. We need to remember that this is the same JSON body that we also have to pass. So if we are a Node.js application, we need to hit this API. Before hitting this API, we need to have the access token. So that access token, for that you need to use this client ID and client secret to get the access token. Using that access token, we are going to hit this, and passing this JSON body, it will give us the session ID back. And this is the session ID that you need to store in your application's variable, because we are going to use it again and again. Every time you want to send a message, make sure that you're passing this session ID. And now let's just see this one, send message synchronous. So here you see that it is passing the same session ID. In this one, we are going to use the same one, https api.salesforce.com followed by Einstein/AI agent/v1 session. So now we are hitting this endpoint sessions, and we are passing the session ID, and we are saying that we are going to pass some messages. So where is that message? Let's go to the body, and here we can say that whatever the message that we want to pass, our message was, so this is the message that I want. Again, this is a timestamp. Again, in the Apex code, we will generate this timestamp, and this message is what I'm sending to my agent. Again, which agent? This agent was mentioned here. This is our agent ID. To this agent ID, we got this session ID, so we don't have to pass agent ID in these endpoints. Rather, we just need to pass the session ID, and in the body, we need to pass the text message that we want to send. So let me just click on send. And this is where you will understand what is the difference between synchronous and streaming. In synchronous, it will invoke the agent. You remember, agent will take some time. It is going to invoke the prompt template. If it has to invoke multiple actions, it is definitely going to take more time. And here it took less time, actually 7 seconds. But you can understand that some actions, some prompt would require agent to take more time. In that case, you might go with the streaming endpoint, because there you will get the chunks continuously, and we will see that when to go with the synchronous and streaming. So in the synchronous one, it will make the call out, and it will wait for agent to respond, and the entire message will come back at a once. In case of streaming, it will come in a pieces of chunk. So here it waited for the agent to generate the entire message or the response, and then only it responded back with the status 200. And here you see that this is is our message. So here are some recommended books similar to Dracula in the horror genre and English language. So this is what it is giving us, the a recommendation, right? So this is the synchronous endpoint, and this is actually useful when we build headless agent, where user is not talking to the agent, so he's not waiting for the response. In our case, what will happen is user will say that this is my favorite book, and we will invoke the agent in the backend. So even if it takes 7 seconds or 10 seconds, user is not going to be worried at that moment. So synchronous endpoint is very much suitable for the headless agents, and streaming is suitable when you have like chatbot kind of thing that you're building on your external websites. Because here, let's just actually try it again. It has the same session ID, and in the body I'm going to give the same prompt. Nothing changes here. Only thing changes is after the messages we have the stream, and here if you see that it was only messages, and here it is saying that stream. And this is possible because while starting the session we said that we need the streaming as well. Okay, and with that I'm going to give the same response, and now you will see that what is the response we are going to get back. So you see that it corrected, and now we got the first response here, and you will see that so we got the first response, and we got multiple responses. It's not waiting for the entire 8 seconds, rather it started giving me the the responses in chunks. The first one was when we passed this prompt, it said that finding recommended books, and this is actually the message that we have given on the action level. You remember, right? Let's go back to our agent. So here to this action level we have given a show loading text message, right? Finding recommended books. So this is how Agentforce also does. It shows this loading text first, and then it slowly starts showing up all the chunks. So that's exactly what is happening here in the Postman as well. The first thing that it gave us back is finding recommended books. So now this is your job as a vendor who's using these APIs to first get this response and show this on the UI, and then subsequently you will get the first part of chunk. So here it is saying that here are some recommended books similar to this. It did not give the entire response but some part of it. Now it is your job to show this, and then once you get the next chunk you concatenate that. So to the first response you will concatenate this response, and then you will concatenate this response, and then you will concatenate this response, and finally I think this is done. So here in this one, if I can drag it, in this one, the final one, in the inform you will get the entire message again. So this is as good as the synchronous one. So in this payload you will get the entire message. So I hope you understood what exactly is this streaming doing. Instead of waiting for the entire message, it is actually going to send us responses chunk by chunk, and then it is your responsibility as a vendor to get these messages and then display it on your chatbot however you want to show this first, and then you can show the half part of the message, or you want to wait for entire message to come. Maybe in that case you should directly go with the synchronous endpoint. And then finally, as a good developer, you should end the session as well. So which is as good as in here when we were chatting with this, when we end the conversation, you remember in the community side, that is same as this. You can click on this send and it will end the session. Okay, so these are the 4 endpoint which we have to work with. The first one is the start session, where we need to pass the agent ID. It will give us the session ID. That's the session ID that we will use either with this synchronous endpoint or this streaming endpoint. And finally, you can end the session as well. So I would recommend you to play around here in this Postman collection so that you get understanding of this. What is this endpoint that we are going to hit? What information we need to pass? To start the session, we need to pass the access token, and we need to pass this JSON payload. That will only give us the session ID. This session ID, we will store it somewhere, and then that is what we are going to use for sending our messages. So here, this is the session ID that we are passing here. Okay, it got expired because we killed the session, and then in the body we were passing the text message.